Most people think winning ads come from creativity and thinking outside the box and trying to be different than the competition, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Winning ads only come to fruition with the more videos and the more creatives you test. And this exact system I'm gonna show you in this video works so well for my client that she shouted me out at her wedding. Here's the clip.
Adam and Jaden, thank you for coming into my life.
And this same strategy took this business owner from getting 0 leads and having no system with testing their creatives because they had so much content to the point where he's getting too many leads to where he has to hire more sales reps to just manage. Here's a clip of that. I'm here with Devine right now and I want to put him on the spot a little really quick. He's been working with us for a few months now. I kind of want him to walk through how that's been, how it's been working with us. So I'll let him.
You know, honestly, I was very against running ads and kind of going over social media at first. Because I just had, a bad experience in the past and it didn't really work out. So, but when I met Jaden and when I met Adam and their team, and they kind of told me what it's going to take to get to that next level, I was like, let's give it a shot. So we did start, just organic posting, building our brand, and then we went into running ads. And honestly, it's turned around my business for the better. The change I've seen, the amount of leads we get in, the amount of growth we've had in the past, I want to say 3 months now that we've been working together is astronomical. I couldn't have done it by myself. I've recommended them to every business owner I know, and they've helped build my brand in the online space and in our physical locations tremendously. So it's just been great, working with someone so young and understanding each other, and the drive and us pushing each other to get to that next level is something really cool.
I appreciate you, bro. And guys, this is only the beginning. YouFit's going to the moon. I have one promise and guarantee for you guys today if you watch this entire video. If you don't find at least a few winning ads for your business or your client's business, I will personally give you $1,000 cash, help you set up the entire campaign over to fix whatever that is that you didn't understand or did wrong. Just DM my Instagram for proof. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So we are in the ads manager right now. And let's say we're optimizing for a lead gen business, which means they need leads, they need booked appointments, they need booked calls, etc. That is the campaign we're going to create. And this is exactly how you're gonna do it. So going right here, you're gonna select the campaign objective. And obviously if it's a service-based business, you're gonna click leads. But just so you guys understand, awareness, traffic, engagement is pretty much never gonna be used for any service-based business owner, only because Meta is only optimizing, again, for traffic. It's only optimizing for link clicks, for engagement. Same thing with awareness. It's just a little bit of these two, traffic and engagement. And if you truly think about it, why would a business need engagement or traffic? They don't care about views. They don't care about followers. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But the number one underlying thing that they do care about is business and leads. That's all they care about. So 99% of the time, you're gonna be choosing leads and sales. Sales for an e-commerce brand, leads for a service-based business that maybe needs more book calls, more appointments, etc. For this demo, we're gonna be clicking leads and we're gonna get right into the campaign level. So we just selected our campaign objective, which is the entire goal of the campaign. So let's say you're getting on a new ad account. So what we're gonna do first is we've already set the objective to leads, which is the underlying whole objective of what Meta is gonna optimize for. We're gonna go up here and name it because this is a tester campaign. This is how we're gonna find a winning ad creative to be able to scale. And this will make sense later on in this video. So we're just gonna name it tester campaign. So you should always have a main tester campaign running, and that'll make sense in a second why. But since this is a brand new ad account, which most of your clients, and if you're a business owner just starting on Meta, most of your accounts are gonna be blank and have no data. So we're not gonna be able to spend more than $5 a day because I want you guys to think of Meta as a data soldier, something that you're basically programming to get data to then be able to optimize up the spend based on what the data is giving us based on the winning ad. So we're not gonna touch anything here. We're gonna set it on campaign budget because I want you guys to look at the campaign level as the umbrella. This is where you set the budget of the campaign. It'll be distributed amongst the ads that you add. And this will make sense in a second. I'll re-explain this here once we get a little bit deeper into it. But so we're scrolling down here and we're gonna see the special ad categories tab right here. What we're gonna look at is, okay, is our client in financial products and services? Probably not. employment. You're probably never gonna run an ad to hire people, but this is very important. If you have a real estate client, if you have a mortgage lender client, anyone in the housing market that is either supplying the funding for these houses, buying, selling, listing these houses, you're going to have to select this so your ad does not get banned. This is very important because Meta is going to optimize and actually help you push it out more, and it's going to be optimized for the people actually in the market to buy a home. And since it's such a high ticket service, you're going to want to optimize it for housing, and Meta always wants you to select this, and if you don't, you run the risk of getting your ad account or just your campaign completely banned and shut off. So if your clients don't fall in any of these categories, then you're good. Just skip over it, press next. We're now going to the ad set level. Now that we're at the ad set level, I talked about thinking of the campaign level as the umbrella, as basically where the funding is spread out to all the other ads and ad sets. I want you guys to think in that framework, but I want you guys to think of the ad set as basically you're programming the ad who to go to. Now you're programming it the demographic, where we're gonna drive the traffic, and what conversion mechanism and location we actually want the traffic to go to. So if it's a service-based business, I recommend always choosing a single. You can do multiple website and lead form, but I always like just choosing lead form. Same thing for the calls. If you wanna, I'm gonna explain what a lead form is here in a second once we get to the campaign level, which is where we set it up. But I like choosing instant forms because unlike Google and any other ad platform, you can actually quiz the leads and make them higher intent. So you can ask them a few questions to qualify them before they actually opt in. Whereas Google, if they click, you're paying for that click and it's considering that a lead. Same thing for the calls. You can always just choose calls and then you just put the business's number, but for this campaign, we're gonna optimize it for a lead form, which is essentially a quiz funnel. So scrolling down here, we're always gonna maximize for the performance goal the number of leads, only because Meta doesn't know how to differentiate between a warm, medium, and even a cold lead. And I say medium for people who are on the edge of actually buying. Meta's only gonna optimize for people that are ready to buy right away. And you're probably like, well, Jaden, why isn't that a good thing? And I'll tell you why right now. It's because you probably have a sales team in play. If you're a business owner, if you're an agency serving a business owner, they probably have a sales team that, why would you wanna lower the level of leads? You can still sell them if they're semi on the fence of going with you. So Meta doesn't know how to differentiate between that, so you're always gonna keep maximize number of leads for this. Scrolling down here, you don't need to touch any of that. You don't need to touch any of this either. Scrolling down here, you do not, again, need to really set the date. I usually just press publish and it goes live if it's a new ad account in under 24 hours once the ad goes into the review stage and gets approved by Meta. Right here is super simple. Obviously, we're going into beginner strategy, so I just want to go into and make it as simple as possible on how to create this strategy, and you guys can kind of plug and play into whatever industry or business that you're actually in, because this system will work for pretty much any industry. So obviously, here's where you're going to set the location, wherever that business is, if it's local, if it's an e-commerce brand out of state, etc. This is where you're going to put the location and the controls. And right down here, you're going to set the detailed targeting. Maybe if you know any behaviors that the business owner wants or his ideal client actually is, then you're going to put that here. Same with the age, same with the gender. Placements is basically just where you're going to say, all right, Meta, I want you to put it on stories, feeds, explore page, etc. But you're never going to touch that because Advantage Plus is going to be usually on, and it's going to optimize for stories, reels, feeds, etc. Everything where you want your ad to show up. That is pretty much it. Obviously, we're not actually programming this ad because I'm just going to briefly explain everything about the ads manager and then go into the beginner ad strategy. So bear with me here if you already know how to do this, or just skip ahead to the video where we go into the actual strategy part of this video. So now we're going to be at the ad portion. Okay, obviously we're going to go in and, oh, I forgot to name this ad. We'll just name this really quick. Tester ad set. And it's going to be for our main tester, just so you can keep that organized. Same thing with this ad, tester ad main. Okay, so obviously this is a demo ad account, so my agency's account is automatically selected here, but how you select it is you just click here and you'll be able to change it to whatever client's ad account that you need to add. Let me know if you guys actually want me to show you how to get access to a client's ad account. Just comment down below and I'm open to make a video about that. But so scrolling down here, our instant form. So this is exactly where we're gonna make it. So we're gonna create the instant form, and this is essentially, I want you to think of it as a quiz funnel. So what this is is you're basically, right when they click on the ad, they're gonna see this, exactly. They're gonna see a few questions from you to actually either book them onto a call or classify them as a lead and reach out to book them in for your service or your business services. So we'll just name this Tester Lead Form 1. And then we'll go next. Obviously, same concept with the lead form as it is in the ad set level. We always want more volume. We don't want higher intent. We want more leads because our sales team is gonna be able to go in and sell those leads on the fence because we're gonna get their information from this. So we're gonna press next. We're gonna name it. Whatever the business is, you can use ChatGPT to help actually word this correctly, but thank you for opting in. Get your whatever offer in the ad it is for the description. And then we're gonna go next. And now this is where you're gonna add the questions. So whatever business they may be in, you're always gonna keep the contact information because this is actually where you're gonna get the info and know who answered these questions up here. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You can ask a multiple choice question, short answer, appointment request, etc. It's super, super simple. And you'll just go in, type whatever question that may be. They get to type their own answer, or for more volume, you can do a multiple choice answer of whatever business you may be in. Then you're always gonna add the client's or your business's privacy policy, which should be on the website. And the reason you add this, it basically just, the client is consenting to allowing to receive messages or business market related info from either SMS, whatever info they put in right here, they're basically consenting to you reaching out to them. So it doesn't get annoying if you reach out too much. They opted in. This is what they basically filled out. This is what they're getting themselves into. So they're obviously gonna consent here with this privacy policy to receive marketing information from you. And the reason Meta requires this is just, again, provides consent. They don't want any fake employers, fake businesses actually reaching out. They just want to make sure that everyone is consenting to receiving marketing information from their advertising source. After that, you're just going to quickly end it. Thanks, you're all set. You can visit our website or exit the form now. Or again, you can have them call your business directly from here and just put your phone number in and they call you directly after they answer those questions. This is a good alternative, but I like just sending them to the website, whatever that business's website may be. And that's pretty much it for that aspect. I actually have a fully built out home evaluation form that usually saves on my demo ad account for my real estate agent client, and I'll show you guys that here right now. So this is the one we're gonna use because I'm not obviously gonna create a full one, but this is another demo one I've created in the past for real estate agents. So this is essentially what a built out form is gonna look like. Get your free home evaluation, fill out a few questions to see your home's true worth in 30 seconds. So what's the reason for getting your home evaluation? Thinking of selling soon, curious about my home's value, refinancing or investing or other. They're gonna press next, type their property address, go next, contact information, boom, privacy policy. When they submit it, it's gonna take them here. Now they can view my client's website and my client will immediately reach out and send them their home's evaluation. And the reason we run this type of ad, I don't wanna go too much in detail because this is a how to find a winning ad video, but this is essentially giving something for free. And if a real estate agent is selling a home and someone wants to know what their home's worth, that is classified as a lead. Now that you guys understand how to navigate Meta, we'll get into the entire strategy. So now let's get into the ad set. So obviously we've selected our conversion location, and now we're gonna go and based on what our client or based on your business, what you know about your target demographic, you're gonna put the location of where your business is and where you wanna target. You're gonna do the same thing for the detailed targeting. What demographics, what interests, and what behaviors do your current clients actually have? And you're gonna put that all in there, okay? And that's all you're gonna do for this aspect of the testing. Again, this is a very basic strategy. Once that's done, let's assume we have this businesses, whatever your business is or whatever your client's business is, all these demographics filled out, detailed targeting, age, location, etc. We're now gonna go and put the campaign. We're now gonna go put the ad. So all you have to do is set up and you're gonna add the video creative here. It's gonna ask you to put a headline and caption, etc. If you know how to operate Meta, you know what I'm talking about, the primary text and headline. After that, let's just say we're testing videos. Meta optimizes for the more videos tested, like I just said in the intro. So let's assume that, keep in mind, this data, the ad set, is basically the location, the demographic is all gonna be targeted towards these ads. So let's just say that we filmed 5 videos. Let's duplicate it again. Okay, so now that we've duplicated all these ads, we're now gonna go into each individual one and change the video. We're gonna change each video on each one. And we're gonna make sure that each video has a different primary text and headline just based on the video and based on the offer in that video. And once we're done with that, that's it for the first part of the strategy. Now, this part of the strategy is letting Meta see if your demographics and basically who you think your target demographic is that is gonna come to you online, because it could be different than your current circumstance. It's letting actually your ideal, based on the data you've got from running your business and the clientele you've served so far, that's what it's gonna optimize for. So now that we did that, guys, the whole preface of this is basically just to tell Meta, okay, here's what I know about my business, here's the data that I know, and now that we've programmed that in, the ad set is gonna be distributing the targeting across these 5 ads. But where this strategy comes into fruition and why it's so powerful is we're gonna basically duplicate the entire ad set. So now that we've done this, right, it's gonna have the same targeting that we've put here based on this previous ad set. And again, this is in the same campaign. This might look a little bit crazy, but it will make sense here in a second. Let's just say we kept the location the same, because that's not something we need to change. That's always gonna need the same. We don't want our ad showing to not our states or not our areas that we serve for our business or our client's business. And what we are gonna change is the detailed targeting. We're gonna take all of it off. We're gonna take the age off. We're gonna let it be very broad. And the reason for this is because we're gonna essentially now let Meta's AI decide who we are targeting and basically use its AI to bring us in leads and say, okay, here's the data. Maybe it's different than the data on this ad set that who we think and who's basically come to us from referrals, because it could be different based on who's actually engaging through Meta, who's actually engaging with your ad through Instagram and Facebook. So it's very important to understand that we're now letting Meta's AI across this entire ad set basically tell us, okay, the data from all these ads, who is actually engaging with us. We're letting Meta's AI decide that. Whereas this, we're literally telling Meta who's engaged with us, but Meta's gonna fact check us, and it's cross-testing these 2 ad sets to find essentially a winning middleman or a winning ad in between. And essentially, you guys are probably asking the question, well, why is there only one campaign level? Well, again, I want you to look at this as an umbrella. Each one of these 10 ads are gonna be fighting for $5 in spend. And we're gonna run this campaign for 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks if it's slower to optimize, depending on how niche or how big your business is or business's industry is. And after those 2 weeks, we're gonna be able to see which ad got the most spend, which ad got the most clicks, which ad actually got the most data. And after that, essentially we're gonna have 1 to 2 winning ads that are so clearly winning ads to the point where, okay, now we just turn off every single other ad, and with those 2 to 3 ads, even one ad that we find that got the most spend, most clicks, most engagement, we're now gonna duplicate this campaign, delete every single other ad, and then up the spend on those 2 to 3 winning ads, because they're already winning. We've tested them for 2 weeks, cross-tested with Meta's AI and our own demographic for 2 whole weeks, and now we found a winning ad campaign. So we're gonna keep that winning ad campaign, which we're gonna call the scaling campaign, which is always gonna be a higher spend than this testing campaign. We're always gonna keep the testing campaign at $5 because we're just cycling in a bunch of creatives. And you don't have to limit it to 5. If you film 10, then you can be cross-testing 20 videos with each different ad set with the different targeting. But it's very important to understand that this is how you're gonna find a winning ad the simplest way. And don't rush into scaling the campaign. Wait for the data to come in. Meta is a data soldier, and it's gonna teach you and show you how to scale that campaign. So always have a testing campaign running, and then always have a main scaling campaign running. And after these 2 weeks are done, you find the 2 winning ads. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go back to the drawing board and script another 5 to 10 ads, just like the 2 winning ones, and go back to the testing campaign. Repeat the same process. It works for any industry. I've done it for all of my clients, and we've been able to generate multiple 7 figures from them using this exact testing strategy to find winning creatives. But that is about it, guys. If you guys got value out of this video, please share it to someone or a business owner who could use this info to help them if they're struggling in Meta ads. And I will see you guys on the next video.